Hello.
And
Welcome
to Film.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 529 of Film Bastards. COVID, I don't even know her. Fuck that right off. I'm back, baby. I'm back. My name's Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Matt Foster. Hello, everybody.
Hello, one and all. Bex will be with us later. Coming up on this week's show, we got two big reviews. Well, one very big. So we got Dune Part 2. It's the film saving cinemas at the moment. Looking forward to talking that a bit later on. We would not dare talk about it without the Reverend Mother herself, the Bene Gesserit to our Fremen, Becky. As in, she's manipulating us into, I don't know.
War.
Basically, yes, yeah. Oh, it's Bene Gesserit. Oh, my word. I couldn't believe how scheming they were. My God. Really took me by surprise. Anyway, sorry, we'll talk about Dune Part 2. And we'll also be talking about Spaceman, the Adam Sandler. Apparently been sat on the shelf for a bit of work, which maybe explains why Carey Mulligan agreed to take on that role. Career maybe not quite as hot a few years back, like Pre-Promising Young Woman, than it is now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was filmed like, 2021, I think it was?
That, yeah, which would make sense. And, we'll get into the film, but I feel like post-Oscar nomination for Promising Young Woman, she's probably not playing that role in Spaceman.
Probably. She's an odd actress, I think. She's an odd character. She very much just does what the fuck she wants.
Yeah. Even though, then again, I mean, it was directed by the guy who directed Chernobyl, apparently, or like at least part of Chernobyl. So maybe, yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll also have some what we've been up to. I will just say the Formula One. It was a really shit race. It was really boring. Increasing sense of taking the blue pill. I'll be absolutely honest, but we'll see how the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix goes. Please don't be a Red Bull 1-2 again, please. So that's F1 talk for this week. Some what we watched, got some trailers, movie news and whatnot. So there we are. We are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please do listen to like-minded shows such as the Rewatch Project, Chin Stroker vs. Punter, The Good, Bad, The Odd, and others. We were trailing having guests this week, or a guest didn't happen. You know who you are, and you're dead to me. Let's talk some movie news. So, Calm Before the Storm of the Oscars. But things are happening. Actually, there was a bit of studio head news that came out this week that I thought was kind of interesting, actually. So, long time head of film at Netflix, Scott Stuber, has or is leaving. I'm sounding distracted because I'm trying to get the article up. God damn it! Yeah, you type in Netflix into Google News and you do not get what you want straight away. I suppose that's not a surprise. If I type in Netflix Scott Stuber, there we are. So here we go. So so Scott Stuber was a guy who was like very, very big on getting kind of like the prestige projects and whatnot. He had like good relationships with like big creatives. And he's being replaced by a guy, Dan Lin. Now, Dan Lin basically has made his bones producing the It films, Barbarian, the Lego movies. Very populist stuff.
Yeah.
And that would seem to be on track with what Netflix are increasingly trying to do now, where you look at the Oscar nominations this year, and their films aren't really playing that much of a part. A couple of acting noms for Naiad. I think they got some documentary stuff in there. They got Wes Anderson probably going to win short film. But the big stuff, it doesn't even feel like they really bothered this year.
No, it feels a little bit like they placed all their chips on Maestro and then decided, do you know what, it hasn't quite played as well as we hoped. And we gave that money over like a good 3-4 years ago. And I think there's an element, I think, of that a little bit, where they get really excited about something. And they go, we're going to be making the new blah film. And then, like, it'll take a couple of years to make. And by the time it gets to it, they're like, well, we're actually more interested in this other thing, like, we've decided to do. Like, it's been... To give an example, for instance, it's been like a year, hasn't it, since Knives Out came out. And there's been nothing about the third.
Fair point.
That was...
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It was pretty much everywhere. For a good... They did a lot of, like... there was a running joke about the fact that, like, people were saying, any day now I'm going to get cast in the new Knives Out movie. Because everybody was getting cast. And then it literally felt a little bit like just, boof, nothing. Like, not a peep has come out of anything. And it's really weird in that sense that I think for a while that they were throwing out that much. Like, they made that like a couple of years ago, it must have been, where they decided, you know what, we're gonna release a Netflix film every week. And basically that was their idea of going, we're going to challenge, the idea of cinema by releasing a Netflix, by releasing a cinema movie every week. So you can have a Netflix Saturday or a Netflix Friday. Something like that. And it got to the point where you were like, why? Release one every like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, Stuber also oversaw the likes of The Grey Man. But also Extraction, but like, I feel like the days of Netflix spunking, what did The Grey Man cost? It was like something stupid like $200 million. Yeah. Like basically because of salaries. But the days of them spunking money like that, like on Red Notice, that shit's just not going to happen anymore. Because I mean, it's interesting because you got Amazon Prime or Amazon this Christmas. They're gonna have that new The Rock and Chris Evans like Christmas film. Fucking, I think it's called Red One, even though there's Red Notice as well, which is weird. But I think it is called Red One because it's almost like Santa's call sign or some shit. And that film is actually getting a theatrical through Warner's, and it's Amazon. They're an interesting one because you go back like 5 years. They put out Manchester by the Sea, for fuck's sake. And they were really all up in those award season films. And it does feel like the streamers are backing off. And they're ceding the ground to the more your more traditional kind of studios as well. It feels already like a world away from when Apple had Coda win Best Picture, and The Power of the Dog was a really, really big competitor that year, and that was a Netflix film, and I find that all like really interesting. But also other studio news, Disney's head of live action, Sean Bailey, is leaving, and the word in the trade press essentially is that they're going to be moving away from all these live action remakes and stuff. Like that they're going to go back to what they turned away from like 10 years ago, of trying to go back to actually creating original films, along with your safe bets.
The thing is, it seems a little bit like they are... They're being oddly sensible about things. I mean, the fact is, you'd hope that somebody at Disney, for instance, sat down and said, while they were watching one of these, cause some of them have been all right, but the majority of them have been a bit crap, and it doesn't matter how impressive the technology is. You don't. I've said it before. A talking fucking crab, or whatever it is that the thing is in Little Mermaid, it is cute, and you can make a toy out of that when it's hand drawn. An actual weird looking fucking crab isn't. That's just fucking nightmare fuel. So there's and these movies were costing $200 million, $250 million, and they were, oh look, it's live action. It's like, no, it's not, because that's not a real crab. It's still animation. It's just more expensive and shit looking animation. There's an element of, I mean, what has literally been in the past, pure Disney, so take out Marvel and take out Star Wars, but pure Disney, what has been their biggest success of the past 10 years?
God knows.
Frozen.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like monumentally huge. A girl that I went to school with and I'm friends with now literally makes her living off being an Elsa at kids' birthday parties.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And makes a decent living at that, and that is what she does for a living. It's wild, and that was an original film. You know, it might have been based on a ride or a story. I'm not even sure, but it was an original film. It wasn't based on the fucking Wish Upon a Star fucking thing or anything like that. Maybe go back to that and have it be something new, not a very expensive curiosity.
Yeah, quite. And I don't know. It's mad that we live in a world where a remake of The Little Mermaid is just not one of the biggest films of last year, of the year it comes out in.
It is, but I just think that there's an element of people don't care. I don't think there's an I suppose a way to put it is like The Little Mermaid is a bit like a retro band from 30 years ago. It would be like fucking 911 coming out, or Let Loose coming out and going, right, we're coming back, guys. You know, nostalgia and all that. We're coming back. Here, we're going to play Wembley. And then 45 people turning up. It's a bit like that. Is The Little Mermaid as important to people as Disney thought it was?
But I kind of think for a lot of people it probably is. It didn't look good. The marketing was shit. The reviews were not kind. And it did 568 million worldwide. The Guy Ritchie Aladdin film did north of $1 billion.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so the retailer I work for, we do a lot of collabs with Disney. You know, for instance, the retailer I work for has the only 2 Disney cafes that aren't at a Disney theme park in the world there. And we sell an awful lot of Disney merchandise. Do you know what? The majority of it, I would say 70% of it is Lilo and Stitch.
Well, you got a live-action remake of that coming out.
Yeah, and it'll be fucking terrifying. Why does it all have to be... And there, again, it's not live action because the thing's a fucking alien.
Look, all I know is Moana 2's coming out in November, and if that film's disappointing, I'm going to be fucking heartbroken. And the fact that it started life as a Disney Plus TV series, that they were like, actually, no, that can be a film, it's not giving me a lot of hope.
Because there is a little bit of the waft of Return of Jafar's about some of the things that Disney are doing now, where they're giving us it, and it's like, hang on a minute, this just used to be $9.99 on a VHS. Why are you now selling me it as a new thing?
Even though, I'll tell you what, Barry Jenkins doing the Mufasa film that comes out at Christmas. I'll see what he's cooking.
Barry Jenkins, the DOP?
No, Barry Jenkins, the guy who directed Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, who am I thinking of in the DOP? I'm thinking of somebody
Barry
else.
Ackroyd?
No. I'm thinking of somebody else, but... Barry Jenkins is doing a Mufasa movie.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Comes out at the end of the year. It's why he hasn't, basically done anything for so long.
Because he's been doing Mufasa... Bradford Young is who I was thinking of.
The Solo guy. Yeah. Who apparently now, has a company that makes and sells lenses.
Fair play to him.
He hasn't shot anything for ages, but he's just spun up a little business, apparently.
Fair play. That's one of those, do you know what? I don't know if I can be arsed with this, but I'm really interested in this, so I'm just going to do this. Like the guitarist from Panic at the Disco just works in a guitar shop because he just loves. That's what he wants to do.
I mean, you've probably got a relatively steady stream of royalties coming in.
That's it.
So why not?
He very much. He's like, I saw an interview with him at the guitar shop, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit over minimum wage, but I'm fine. I'm quite well taken care of. So, believe it or not, Panic at the Disco wasn't a solo project, no matter how many times Brandon Urie tries to tell you it was. And he's like that, will you ever come back? And he's like, nope. It's just like, I'm gonna just keep working here until they tell me I can't anymore.
But was he the guitarist on that first album?
He was the guitarist who started the band, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. So he's fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's fine.
Fucking wild. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. It's some interesting shifting sands, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing by the sounds of it. Just in terms of the studios maybe getting back to actually this is our bread and butter. We're not just making stuff to fit in along with all the TV series we make. We're here to do this. I don't know. It kind of... That fills me with hope. And also, I will say as well, just the trailers in the cinema, kind of segueing into trailers, in the cinema last night before Dune 2, I was just like, man, we got some decent stuff coming.
Oh, I'm going to mildly ruin your segue because I have news.
Oh, yeah? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I brought a bit of news, yeah. Save this one.
Right.
Benny Safdie is making his first solo directing movie called The Smashing Machine.
Good title.
With A24.
Yes, of course.
It's about MMA and UFC fighter Mark Kerr.
Right.
And it stars Dwayne Johnson.
Shit, Rick. Now... He's circling some interesting shit, is old Dwayne.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do. Do some of your blockbustery stuff, but, maybe...
He's
keep the creative juices flowing as well.
Yeah, both Safdie's production company and, of course, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's production company are doing it as well. Yeah. That's interesting, though.
Cannot fucking wait for The Rock visiting the Criterion Closet as part of the press tour.
Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what though? I bet that'd be fucking interesting to watch. I bet it'd be interesting to watch him if you just sort of said to him, if you could just sort of before it go, right, just for the press tour of this, we want you just being The Rock, but could you just talk about cinema? You don't even need to talk about this film, but don't try and sell me whatever it is new fucking sports venture you've got yourself involved with, trainers, your tequila, or anything. turn the salesperson off and just fucking talk about how much you love movies, not that you always dreamt about being in a movie about this particular MMA fighter.
No, I remember my daddy sat me down in front of Kweneskatsi, and it just did. Yeah.
I was going to say that.
You fucking talk about Godfrey Reggio, you mad bastard. Why not? Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because, like I say, that could be quite. I'm intrigued by that. It's the first The Rock project I've been intrigued by in a good while.
But I mean that's it, man. It's like, you know, he kind of wants to be all things to all people, but it kind of sounds like maybe he's actually listening to his agent. And
yeah, maybe he's just gone. Do you know what? People seem a little bit fucking sick of me.
No, he won't. He just whenever he's having he's been back on WWE lately.
Yeah.
Like he'll just do that when he's like feeling a bit low, and then it'll just buff him up again. But I mean, look, hey, you love to see it, you know. Great. May he work with Ari Aster.
Yep. Let's just get the A24s in.
That fucker, dude. Like, I want some news to start coming out about his next project. Like, I got the fucking bug after Bo Was Afraid.
It's a good one at that one.
It was, and like people, like there were a lot of people who liked his other stuff who seemed pretty miffed by it, and I don't know. I think I finally understand Ari Aster. So.
Yeah. I think from the start I was down with his "this is all a joke to me" shtick.
Yeah, fucking Bo Was Afraid, man. I've been circling that on Sky Cinema. It's just the fact it is 3 hours long.
That's it. There's so many things that I would love to watch, and then I go, oh, but it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, and also just like with lots about like just I can't watch this in front of her.
No.
I heard that described on a podcast the other day. I heard it described as just like a 3 hour film about a guy who really needs to nut. It was like, yeah. But in a positive way, like he liked the film, but I don't know, I just thought it was really funny and it's right.
It is. But yeah, it is.
Oh, God, sorry. And it was Blank Check. Of course it was Blank Check, but David Sims on Blank Check, and it was good. It made me laugh. Right, anyway. So, yeah, look, but that trailers, right? Yeah. I saw the Furiosa trailer on the big screen for the first time.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't that into the trailer, when watched on my phone. But watching it on a big old IMAX screen, yeah.
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 Yeah, you watch it and go... Fuck it, go on then.
And it's that comes out the day before we travel, before flying to Italy. So that's my kind of like treat to myself, like start of my holiday film. And I'm very much looking forward to indulging in that. And the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as well. That trailer looks better big. So yeah, there's that. In terms of new trailers, I think there's a couple. Really odd teaser for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead remake. Did you see this?
I didn't see this, no. But
it's just like 50 seconds long, and they call it a trailer, but I didn't really get what it was, to be honest. Yeah,
it just like. Nothing really happens, and it just it ends by cutting off midway through someone saying something.
And it was like, I kind of figured like, was that just a line from the first, like a reference to a line in the first one or something? But I don't think that film's got the cultural cachet to get away with that.
No, that film is more a poster that you would find on a T-shirt than an actual film.
Yeah. No, that's perfect summation.
Yeah. I would say around about 40% of people, when you mention that film, will go, "Oh yeah." But in their brain, they will be thinking of Adventures in Babysitting.
So we've got a new trailer for the Bike Riders, which has changed distributor since it got delayed. So it's now coming out through Focus. And, I don't know. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but I felt like it's kind of painting it as a bit more by the numbers than I thought the original trailer did. Because the original trailer, like, really frames it as, like, Jodie Comer's story of interacting with these guys. But this, which I thought was an interesting angle to take, this just seems to be bike gang becomes big, gets involved in crime, tragedy ensues. Or am I wrong?
I think it's what I think it might end up being is it might end up being between both of them, but this distributor's gone, right, we need to sell this movie by getting people to watch it, so we need Tom Hardy and Ozzy Butler just looking cool.
It was interesting because at the end of the trailer, I think Jodie Comer is top billed.
Yeah,
which you wouldn't get from this trailer.
No.
So maybe you're right there, and it's Jeff Nichols, so I've got faith in him. But yeah, I don't know, just when it's like they're getting involved in crime, and like it's Austin Butler kind of like feeling like he's got to go with Tom Hardy, but is he going to start like feeling guilt? And we'll see. I think it's cool that it's coming out in the summer.
Anybody watching that who's seen Sons of Anarchy is going, this is really familiar.
Okay. But no, I like that it's coming out in the summer. It feels like it could be some interesting counter programming to blockbusters. Like here's another film, probably primarily for men, let's be honest, but is more character, and I think hopefully it could settle well there. And also, it's not going to have the weight of being out in awards season like it originally would have been.
Yeah.
And instead now it can just make some money and they can get on with their day.
Yeah. This film didn't even have to make that much money to break even as well.
No, I bet. This one feels like people doing it because they want to work with Jeff Nichols and they like the material.
Yeah.
Austin Butler just being magnetic as hell as well.
Yeah.
It's
a really good cast.
Yeah, it is. It is. But God, man, Butler, what a couple of years he's having. Like,
yeah, it's landing for him, isn't it?
May he continue making cool choices.
That's it. Yeah, you just want him just to continue. Just. He seems like a guy who is very much like. I don't see him cropping up in like a generic I'm top build action movie kind of thing. I think he's gonna do interesting shit. I don't really see him as being a leading man kind of guy.
Yeah, it just like hot guy who can get character drama shit made.
The thing is, I think he'll look at people like, for instance, Tom Hardy and go, do you know what? That doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's been Tom Hardy's got a cracking career for himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's in comic book movies, but very much of his own design. And because of that, he gets to do interesting shit on the side. I will say, though, Gareth Evans' new one, Havoc, well, I say new, where the fuck is that? They were shooting that, like, in Wales years ago.
See if there's any news on it. Yeah, started shooting in 2021. And it wrapped in October 2021, apparently. Nothing. Oh, it's like, Netflix.
Yeah. It's like Spaceman.
Yep.
That is. Which, yeah, just...
Louis Guzman's in it.
Oh, God, Louis Guzman was in Wales.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of the time that the Stafe was in the showing of Toy Story 3 before me in the Cardiff IMAX.
Yeah, there's those random happenings. Like I remember walking by in York, walking by Guillermo del Toro, and thinking that guy looks like Guillermo del Toro, and then literally reading in the York press like 2 days later saying that he'd been in York at York Minster on that day, and I just walked like clean past him and thought he looks a bit like Guillermo del Toro, but then thought like he's clearly not, because why would it be?
That's great.
It's incidentally on exactly the same street as the as the lead singer from Keane stopped me and went, "Have you got the time, mate?" And I looked at my watch and went, "Yep," and walked off.
Fucking hell! Did you? And you clocked who he was, and then did that?
Knew it was. Yeah.
That's a bit of a dick move.
It was a really dick move.
What's he done to you?
But there's more to that. So they just come out.
What has he done to you?
They just come out, and I did that, knowing exactly what it was. I think they've maybe just released the album. A friend of mine designed their website. That night, I met up for a drink with him, and the fucking lead singer from Keane was there. And he was looking at me funny, and he just went, I swear I know you from somewhere. And I was like, don't think we do, mate. Thinking, shit. And he just went, wait a minute, you were the fucking guy who asked the time for earlier today, weren't you? He was like, I was, yeah.
And what happened from there? Was he...
It was actually really fucking nice.
Yeah, there you go.
He was really nice. And he did see the funny side of it. I said, look, when have you ever got the opportunity to just be that much of a prick?
And he probably said, I'm the lead singer of Keane quite a lot if I want to be. No, I mean, like in all honesty, like, whenever he's been interviewed on the radio and stuff like that, I've always thought he actually seems alright.
Yeah, like I said, he was with us for quite a lot of the night, and he was a really nice guy, really good conversation. Kept paying for the drinks. So, yeah.
Nice. Fucking hell. Right, how did we get... Because we were talking about Wales. And, yeah, okay, let's get back through the Inception layers. Fucking hell. Right, okay, so also... I mean, I don't think there are any real biggies this week.
No.
I think it's fair to say. So, The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yep.
Everybody needs to know where The Strangers... The Strangers, I like The Strangers.
Yeah, it's a good film.
I think this trailer seems to be assuming that a lot more people know The Strangers than probably know The Strangers.
Yeah, the really popular movie from 2008.
Yeah.
Starring all the kids' favourites, Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman.
Absolutely. A trilogy of Strangers films directed by Rennie Harlin. Why? What?
He's directing it.
Yeah.
Rennie Harlin, yeah. I mean, they're all getting released this year.
Sure they are. Cool.
First one, May. Then Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 are set to be released later in 2024.
Just... But like, what?
Why?
But I think there's a chance to do some really batshit mythology here, because you can't have 3 films of strangers knock on a random person's door and terrorize them because they were there. You can't do that for 3 films, surely.
Rennie Harlin's going to have had 4 movies out this year.
Why? What's the 4th?
The Bricklayer.
No, that's a Rennie Harlin film.
Yep, the Aaron Eckhart, Nia Dobrev, and Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, because that's all over. That and Ferrari are all over Sky Cinema at the moment. Even though, mate, the temptation to do a bricklayer beekeeper double bill this weekend is high.
See, I might watch The Bricklayer.
Because Beekeeper is on Sky Cinema from Friday. So I might...
Sky Cinema are doing alright this year.
They're doing fine. They're doing fine. They got Ferrari this week. They got The Beekeeper next week. Sure. The Beekeeper might be my first rewatch of 2024.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. This just looks like the Strangers film. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it does very much look like the Strangers film. Like,
why are they? Why?
If you were to have shown me a shot, like a still of this film, and gone, "What film's that?" I'd have gone, "It's The Strangers." I don't remember the bit in it, but it's definitely The Strangers.
Hey, look, that first one is an incredibly upsetting piece of work.
Yep.
Like really, really, really effective horror filmmaking. So let's see what they got here. I really, really hope that this ends with some sort of batshit twist that completely reshapes things. But I doubt it. But Rennie Harlin, mate, you cash those checks, buddy.
Yep,
Fair
go for
play.
it. Go for it.
Fair play. So there we are. New trailer for the Garfield movie. Why not? I don't know. Samuel L. Jackson's he plays Vic, but I think he pronounces it Fick because he's a big cat. Quite like that, won't lie. Apart from that, I mean, Chris Pratt cashing those checks.
Yep. Chris Pratt doing, he's going to fucking do something mad with the voice for Garfield, or just is he going to speak in his own voice?
Yeah, he'll do that.
Yep.
So I put this in the Safe Space chat earlier. The Wild Robot.
Yep.
So this is a new DreamWorks film, comes out in the autumn, which is produced by Cartoon Saloon of Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea, and Wolfwalkers fame. More than happy for Cartoon Saloon to take some DreamWorks money and make what seems like a pretty Cartoon Saloon ass film, but expensive looking. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Robot interacting with nature, probably ending up protecting it against his programming or something.
Yep. The thing
Cool.
is, the first 30 seconds I was going, oh, great. It's a somber cover of a popular song. Great. That's not been done in trailers. Oh, this just looks a bit like the Iron Giant. And then by the end of it, I was there going, this looks like the Iron Giant. I don't know why I thought it was a bad thing. That's a fucking great movie. I want to watch this movie right now.
Yeah. It looks really charming.
Looks really good, yeah. I went from going, oh, this just looks like the Iron Giant, to there going, why can't it look like the Iron Giant? It is clearly a homage to that type of film. What's wrong with that, you prick?
And it just... like Wolfwalkers, it'll be. I'm assuming it's still on Apple TV because it was an Apple TV film, so it'll be on Apple TV Plus. Wonderful piece of work, fantastic bloody film. It was the big LFF COVID everything's streaming year, and I just watched it on a Saturday morning, airplaying my laptop to the TV with Lottie, and just had a great time. That film is wonderful, and yeah, I'm really, really glad that Cartoon Saloon. It doesn't necessarily they haven't been acquired by DreamWorks; they're just co-producing it with them, and yeah, great, cool. I'm glad that Universal, who own DreamWorks, are putting some money behind stuff like this while also doing a Despicable Me 4 this year.
Yep.
That's a nice one for them, one for us kind of thing. So I respect that. So yeah, really looking forward to this. That's all I had. Have you got any more?
No, I think that's everything I've got as well, yeah.
Okay, cool. So what Was there like a big trailer in front of Dune 2 that we just talked about last week or something then?
What did I get? I had Bike Riders and Ghostbusters.
I had Furiosa, Apes, Borderlands, which got a fair few DiCaprio meme pointing at the screen in my audience of Dune last night for Borderlands. Yeah. I kind of feel like that might be big. Especially if they're already trailering it and it doesn't come out till August.
Yeah, that's a confident move.
Yeah, or at least let's get some awareness out there. I'm glad I didn't have the Ghostbusters trailer. Only 2 more weeks till that's out.
It was greeted by a very loud, I think it's when it's when it started and it came up with Ghostbusters, and somebody in our screen just went, maybe you could just not.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
I don't think we're the only people who are being a bit miserly around it.
Good. It's Godzilla X Kong the week after, and I'll much rather take a Godzilla who's not my Godzilla any day.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1 still hasn't had a home release announced. It's annoying. Right. Spaceman, IMDb. Let's talk some Spaceman. So, this is directed by Johan Renck and stars Adam Sandler, Kerry Mulligan, and Paul Dano, and Kunal Nayar, Isabella Rossellini, and Lena Olin. It's kind of a weird banger of a cast, actually. Fair play.
It's oddly like here's some European women that were incredibly hot in the 90s.
Yeah. Okay, so my IMDb. There we go. Half a year into his solo mission on the edge of the solar system, an astronaut concerned with the state of his life back on Earth is helped by an ancient creature he discovers in the bowels of his ship. Mark, Spaceman, the Sandman doing serious. Happens every now and then. How do you take to it?
It's a very somber piece of work, is what I would say. There are like little moments where it has little moments of levity, but they're more like dialogue levity. But it is quite heavy going. But I found it almost at points like quite peaceful to watch. Like it's a really easy film to watch for a film that is essentially about it's about sort of feelings and regret and loneliness and all of these things, but it is quite engaging and quite watchable. Sandler is doing very good. There's a little bit of early creepiness to it, but I was amazed at how quickly I just settled into it being alright that Paul Dano was a giant spider running around with a big old jar of Nutella.
Yeah, the Hanus
Yes.
is my guy. He's wise. He likes Nutella. And he has one of the most horrific deaths ever put on screen.
Yeah. It's just it goes places, this film.
It does. And I've seen a lot, folks on Letterboxd and whatnot, basically calling it Netflix Interstellar. Which
It's not though. It's so tired that it's just what can I think of that is a film that is also set on a spaceship? It's no, go for something more. Silent Running would be closer to it.
There is that stuff at the end where it's all the moments in time and whatnot, which is a little bit like the space McConaughey finds himself in. But yes, that's maybe 5-10 minutes of a film, and the rest of it is not like Interstellar at all. So it's an odd one. This I feel like it maybe thinks it's a bit more profound than it actually is.
I think you can often films that their identifier and the reason why they exist is to attempt to be profound are often not quite as profound as they would profess to be. But I think there's also an element of kind of in casting Sandler as that. I think you're almost kind of buffering that a little bit and saying, look, we know that this is a little bit pretentious, but go with us.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I think he is quite likable, which is quite a challenge actually, because his character literally goes to space instead of like being with his wife and his unborn kid.
Yeah, he comes across as a bit of a dick.
Much like Dreyfus in Close Encounters, which we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
But I found that like the whole guy just feeling guilt and being utterly lost, I thought that was well played.
Yeah, he plays that. I've done this and I regret it. This was a mistake. I done gone fucked up. He plays that really well without ever just having the explosive moments for it. It's no shock, I think, that Adam Sandler, to anybody now, is a very good actor. He is. It's just, he also is very good at making money, doing funny voices and dick jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see like the story behind like how this came to him. But then again, I mean, he did Hustle. What was that? Year before last? Year before last. And that film is pretty buttoned down. And he's got to be charming in it because he's like playing is he playing an agent or a coach? I can't remember now.
Scout.
It's scout. Yeah. And he's kind of got to be charming as part of that job, but he is that kind of like restrained kind of thing. But I like that with that and with this, it's not the restrained, he's boiling inside him and he's going to explode kind of thing. It like with this is he is sad and he's repressing stuff, but it's not going to come out with him, I don't know, smacking a load of golf clubs against like a tree or something.
No, I mean, did you see the letterbox things that they did over it where they were talking to him and Paul Dano about it?
No, I saw the 4 favourites where Adam Sandler just reeled off like 6 or 7 films and completely misunderstood the point of 4.
Yeah,
but I didn't see anything else.
Did you see the Paul Dano put in Punch Drunk Love?
That was classy.
Sandler genuinely seems like quite touched and quite shocked. I think just before that, he'd suggested one of his movies, and Paul Dano kind of laughed, and then the third movie he put in was Punch Drunk Love, and he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, it's genuinely one of my favourite movies. And the thing is, I've heard Paul Dano talk about how much he loves Punch Drunk Love before. But then Sandler's immediate reaction is to go, yeah, that's not even really my film. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's film. I just happen to be in it.
God, yeah. It's I feel like Sandler is a mensch. That's the phrase, isn't it? Yeah. Just like happy to give credit and bump other people up and stuff. Yeah,
but it was Paul Dano does a really good bit of voice acting work within
cracking performance.
And I was seeing an interview with him, and he was saying that it's not technically it's not him. I think he said it wasn't done like with him with dots all over him and bits like that, but he wanted to be there for as much of it of those scenes as possible. So he said, I'm there
So they're actually feeding off each other's energy. That's cool, man.
Yeah,
I wish,
it was very much like I kind of
that.
insisted that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like just in terms of visuals, I know I've said it before on the podcast. I knew I was in good hands very early on because there's a bit where literally Sandler's just pulling himself up through something in the spaceship, and you look at going, yeah, the director has had the good sense and the production designer had the good sense to go, we need to make sure that this looks like it's used. Doesn't look like everything's brand new. That shit looks like it's been through some shit.
The whole kind of the used sci-fi and like the making it all seem normal kind of stuff, just like the bureaucracy of like before he can use that decontaminant, like he's got to get it agreed, and it's like the contingency is that he says the ad copy before he fucking sets it up. I mean, that's great.
I thought that was great and a real nice kind of touch. And then the way that Sandler delivers it, where he's just like, I'm just going to say all this shit because it's fuck off.
Yeah. No, it's. Like the sense of place in this where you recognise it, but also it's not of anywhere on Earth.
Yeah,
it like it's very, very well done. Like this Johan Renck, like I think he does a good job marshalling all of this.
The thing is, he was in a band and he's a music video director, and he directed a film in 2008 called Downloading Nancy. That stars Maria Bello and Jason Patrick and Rufus Sewell's in it as well. That I remember watching back in the day and it being actually really quite good.
Downloading Nancy.
It's not about what you think it's about.
Okay. I don't know. It's just an interesting title. Like, I didn't mean anything by it. It's an interesting title.
I know. It's about. It's about a woman who basically goes online and looks for somebody to essentially kill her, but via torture. And it's just it's a really quite a bleak movie, which will be no surprise for anyone who's watched Spaceman.
I was kind of surprised by the ending as well. Like that felt quite bleak to me. Like that the imagery at the end's quite pretty, and I don't know, like he seems to have reached another place where he's connecting with her again, but like he's not going home, is he?
No.
Yeah.
It is a very bleak film, but I really quite enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yes, and I mean we haven't really talked about Mulligan. Like I thought she was really good as well. Like the whole kind of like, you know, all right, I kind of can't get in the way of your work, but I wish you'd see me. Like kind of like sense of that role. I thought it was really well done, and I mean like go on.
Yeah, she was in Paul Dano's Wildlife, wasn't she? The film that he wrote and directed.
Is it her and Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
I need to fucking see that.
Good film.
Yeah.
It's a really it's not, I don't know, it's not fucking amazing, but it's a good film, and it's quite sad. It's quite a sad film. But yeah, another great turn from Bill Camp's in that as well, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, okay.
And when Bill Camp turns up in stuff, you kind of go, all right, this is going to be decent.
Yeah. I liked her, and you know, the kind of like when he's speaking about like when he first met her and stuff like that, like she can still play that kind of young, vibrant, you're gonna fall for me kind of thing really well, at the same time as she can play like, I think I like the role inside Llewyn Davis, and that was like getting on for 10 years ago, where she's just kind of like kind of like a cold fish, and it's just like it's basically all emotion has been beaten out of her by her past experience, and she can play. She's really, really versatile. Is Carey Mulligan?
I really think I really need to go back and watch Inside Llewellyn Davis, because I was quite meh on it, and I think I need to go back and rewatch it.
That film fucks.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go actually further than that and say I am going to rewatch Inside Llewellyn Davis this week, because I think I am. I think I went into that maybe in the wrong frame of mind or something like that, because everything about it I should like.
Yeah, like I think I said before, if I could live in a film, it would be that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that this week.
Yeah, nice. But no, look, Spaceman, definitely not shit. Seems to have had a bit of a hard time as well, and I'm not quite sure why.
I am genuinely not. Cause I saw a few like little. I don't read reviews for anything until I've watched it of new films.
Sure.
But there'll be occasional ones where I'll save them, and I read a couple which is a bit like I don't really know what you're expecting with this. Then, and there's often I seem to get it quite a lot actually when I'm reading reviews. Is that I'm reading a review and going, hang on a minute, you're critiquing a film because it wasn't the film that you thought it was, so you're reviewing the wrong movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it can be maybe a weird pill to swallow, this film, Adam Sandler doing this. But, if people haven't had experience with him with Punch Drunk Love or even Uncut Gems or something like Rain Over Me,
yeah.
like, it probably is when, like, what he's been making for the last little while, Uncut Gems and Hustle accepted, are just very, very broad comedies. Yeah. But, man, I really, really hope he at least gets an Oscar nomination at some point in the next few decades.
Yeah, because he kind of deserves it. I get the feeling that it would be one of those where when it happens and he wins, because if he gets nominated for something, it's going to be something he's going to win for, that it'll weirdly be like a big deal in Hollywood. He'll get like a really good standing ovation because he's clearly very well liked by all corners of Hollywood.
The nomination would be the hard part, I feel like.
Yeah.
The actually getting him the award once he's nominated could be quite easy. He'd be so fun on the awards trail as well.
Yeah.
But also, at the same time, I don't know, like when he signed that initial Netflix deal, he put out a statement saying, I signed for Netflix because it rhymes with wet chicks. And so...
If he's played with his audience.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just a bit... Dude, really? It made you laugh, so fuck it.
Yeah. It did.
But hey, look, definitely not shit. How'd the poll shape up?
The poll shaped up. I'm just looking at it now. Definitely not shit. Where has it gone? It's disappeared again. There it is. Definitely not shit, 60%. Touching cloth 20 and shit 20.
It's actually maybe more so on definitely not shit than I thought it was going to be.
I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that. Let's do some what we've been up to. Mark, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? So, inspired by you last week, I rewatched Men in Black 3.
Oh, cool. Okay, how'd that go?
The thing is, I rewatched 3 because I think I've watched it the least, apart from Men in Black International, which is an absolute freaking crime. So I thought, I'm going to rewatch Men in Black 3 because I remember really enjoying Josh Brolin's performance in it. Men in Black 3 is like a bit of a sleeper banger, to be honest.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's a really fun film. And as well, it gets its shit done. It is like very under 2 hours long, but without it just being like 90 minutes where you go, this is a bit weird how quick this is going by. Will Smith is very fun. Josh Brolin is doing a great impression of Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Stuhlbarg's there for some reason. And yeah, the what's it? Bill Hader doing.
It's so good.
The impression is so fucking good.
That's just the choice that he's not an alien. He's just a really square Men in Black agent who is just doing really lazy shit. It's so funny.
Yeah. The Boris the Animal is creepy as fuck. Jermaine Clement is doing a really good job there. But then I completely forgot about the fact that at the end you find out that Agent K effectively is like has known Will Smith's character since he was like a child, and has basically groomed him to be in the Men in Black. It was really quite. I was like, I didn't expect to get this emotional about Men in Black 3. Yeah, I had a really good time rewatching this. Yeah,
And just, I mean, I know we talked about it weird amount over the last couple of shows, but the fact that, they basically had it all done, like written, up to the point that Tommy Lee Jones disappears, and then they literally stopped shooting for 2 months. They had like a planned break so they could write the rest of the film. And they just didn't, know they were going to do the stuff with the watch and the dad and whatnot.
yeah.
It's kind of... I think it's wild that film is as good as it is, considering
that.
A lot of blockbusters don't have a script, but it was like they literally stopped shooting for 2 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
But planned it into the budget, and it wasn't just like, all right, we'll start and we'll just write as we go. It was like, do you know what? This film is going to cost an absolute shitload, but it's so we can actually, have it actually maybe be good.
Yeah. And it ended up, it did cost a shitload.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
But
it also made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Nobody came out with it banged up.
No, and it is, like I say, it's a really fun movie. Do you know what else is a really fucking fun movie?
What?
I also rewatched.
What?
Exodus: Gods and Kings.
Fucking yes, mate. All right, let's go. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I thought, fuck it. Wanted something to watch that I thought, right, because it was a watch at work during my breaks there, and I was like, and it was on Disney Plus. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to download that. I remember enjoying it the first time, and the problem with it ended up being that I got to like the end of my lunch hour and was like, oh, fucking hell, I want to watch more of it. So I literally just was like, nah, fuck it. Next day off, I am just going to get up in the morning and I'm going to fucking watch the rest of it at home because I'm enjoying it too much. And so that's what I did. So I got up early on Saturday morning when me and Bex both off, and I finished watching Exodus: Gods and Kings. It's great how they basically what he's done is Ridley Scott and the writers is they're going, look, all these things happened. These are the probable logical reasons why they happened. And people are going to tell you they're the logical reasons why they happened. But nobody's going to believe that. They're just going to think it was God. And you actually going, fair enough, yeah. They do just think it's God. And then you've got Christian Bale against Joel Edgerton, where you think it's going to be this almighty battle. But actually, they kind of get on. Joel Edgerton's kind of fine with him. He gets a bit pissed off at the end because Joel Edgerton thinks that Christian Bale might have been responsible for killing his kid in cahoots with God. Yep, that's actually what happens.
That's some real, how the fuck did that get made stuff.
Yeah.
That film.
Yeah. Can you imagine the fact that Fucking Ridley Scott must fucking pitch like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
I've got an idea. What? Moses. I'm not feeling this, Rid. Christian Bale's Moses. I've just gone, Christian Bale is Moses, yeah. Are we going to get like a big fucking scene of him parting the Red Sea? No. He's fucking Moses, there you go. Fucking deal with it. And how much is it going to cost? I don't know, $200 million? I'm still not sure you're making it. Alright, fucking hell, Rid. It looks fucking great. It's really entertaining. It's really serious, but without you ever thinking this is too serious. It is just kind of like, fair enough, these things do sound like they should be serious. You know, more proof that Ridley Scott fucking hates horses. Like, with a deep passion, that man fucking hates horses. Loads of nasty shit happens to horses in this movie. Becky's in now and is asking which movie. Exodus, Gods and Kings. Yeah, again, I'm going to say it again. Sly banger, this. A sly banger.
Nice.
If you haven't watched Exodus, Gods and Kings because you thought, watch it. It's fucking great. And if you have watched it, watch it again. It's fucking great. And, Ben Mendelsohn as, like, the fucking Viceroy and just playing it as this absolute fop is just great.
Good.
Oh, and Ewan Bremner is just cast as the expert. He's the one who's got to, like, explain to Ramesses why all the plagues are happening. And he's right in all of it. The only bit that he gets wrong is at the time they don't know that flies can spread diseases. And then he works that out because they've all got, like, boils and sores. He's like, it turns out flies can spread diseases. And then the next thing is a real hard cut Tim being hanged.
Jesus. Hi.
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah, it's the fucking Reverend Mother herself. How you doing?
It's June Monday, baby. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Dune's Day.
Tuesday.
Do you want to do any of yours that you watched solo? Or have you not watched anything solo?
I have not watched anything solo.
Do you want to do what you thought of Spaceman? Because we've just reviewed it.
What did you guys think?
Oh, we both really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a remarkable performance from Adam Sandler. Like
that sounded like you could either be taking the piss or being genuine.
No.
I don't know what that was.
I thought it was a genuinely moving performance from him, which I did not expect.
I agree.
The fact that it's such a serious film and it's got like a spider that looks like a toy as one of the main characters.
That's really nice Nutella.
He's wild that loves Nutella. Oh, that bit at the end. And
He's a good boy, and he dies so horrifically.
So horrifically. But then the particles merge with his, like, parasites, I guess, and like take it away. So, like, if the particles are a beginning, then it might be that he's going to a new beginning.
Yeah, I'd still rather still have Hanush with us, though.
Hanush was a good egg.
He was a good boy. He's a good boy.
Isn't he voiced by Paul Dano?
Paul Dano, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Just such a weird fucking film. And the fact that they're supposed to be like Czechoslovakian.
Czech, yeah.
Yeah.
Czech Republic.
Oh, have I said something wrong?
No, they're just different places.
Oh, okay. Did they used to be the same?
Yes.
Okay. My geography is not up to date, evidently.
I think that's more geopolitics than geography.
Oh, okay.
Still the same place.
There's so much bad going on here. I can't keep up with everything that's bad going on everywhere else.
It's alright, you didn't say it was Yugoslavia, so you're alright.
Is Yugoslavia not real?
No, not anymore. It's the Czech Republic now.
Oh.
We can move on from this.
I might need to get a map.
It's exactly the same place. It's the same.
It's got different names, though.
Yeah.
I need to know the new names.
A map will help you with that, then.
Persia's still a thing.
No, Persia's a thing.
That was
That's
a joke.
Iran.
That one was a joke.
Good.
But we still have the rugs and the cats, though.
It hasn't existed for 2,500 years.
And they still like marketplaces as being Persian food. Anyway.
Don't, because you're only doing that because it really bothers me.
Yeah, no, really kind of just sneaks up on you, that one, I think. I think you hear Adam Sandler movie and you have certain expectations. I know you guys both really liked that Uncut Gems thing, didn't you? But like, I wasn't that wild on it. But it was a serious film, but it is an outlier. So,
Rain Over Me, Punch Drunk Love.
But they're funny, aren't they?
Punch Drunk Love, fair enough, yeah.
What was the first one you said?
Rain Over Me.
I'm not seeing that. Rain like rain?
No. Rain.
Like Reagan.
Rain as in like a king's reign.
Fair. Yeah, just really thought provoking. Really, just quietly, really fucking good.
We've got a couple more, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we rewatched The Dark Knight, didn't we?
This film fucking slaps more and more every time I watch it. Every time we watch it, I'm a bit like,
What did you watch it on?
Well, we didn't. We started watching it on iTunes and went, "That's a bit weird. That ain't how it's supposed to fucking look."
Yeah.
You stick on the Blu-ray?
No, we ended up watching it on Now, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have it on Blu-ray, but it's like in the loft.
Okay, hang on. So when you say that's not how it's supposed to look, what do you mean?
Oh, have you not
I've not seen the iTunes thing. If you watch it on iTunes TV, it literally appears in the middle 20% of the screen, and that's it.
Have you got it
What?
on iTunes, Ian?
Have you got it on
I
iTunes?
do, yeah. I'm going to have a look at this right now.
Have a look at it. If it doesn't do it on yours, I'll show you on ours in a second.
Watch it be fixed.
It's the TV app though. On the if you watch it on a phone or an iPad, it'll work.
All right, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to put it on my laptop.
It'll
that
probably
might
still
work.
work. So I'll show you on ours. I'll load it up on the TV now. Yeah, we got like a couple of minutes into it, and we're both looking at each other going,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
"This ain't right."
Is this how it opens? I don't remember this.
I was like, is this? Yeah, that's what I said to you. Then I was like, "Is this how it opens? Is there something that it can't be right?" Watch it, it'll fucking work.
It'll be fixed, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have fixed it now.
Because I was going to say, if you were to watch it on Blu-ray or 4K, then you'd get the IMAX framing.
Yeah. So I'm just going to send you a photo of it.
Which is the way to watch it. But, yeah. Yeah, I need to have a look at this now.
I'm going to send you it now. So anyone here, if you got The Dark Knight on, what is it? This is how it will look.
You know, you're not sending that picture to all the listeners, right?
No, I was just saying.
Yeah. Okay. More appropriate would be if you've got Dark Knight on Apple TV, put it on your television and.
Oh, yo.
Yep.
Hang on. Is your...
Nope. That's just that. It's a glitch.
It's a whole thing.
I had a check because I was like, "Fuck, is that? Has something gone wrong with the settings or anything like that?" Tried two of them.
So, like, other films in, 235, look alright?
Everything else looks alright. Did a check, and there's loads of people have commented on the Apple. What's it saying? What the fuck's going on with this?
What? So, basically, yeah, obviously people can't see it. It essentially looks like you're watching a widescreen film, but not on a widescreen TV.
Yeah.
So they're not filling out the frame. It's just literally the middle vertical, that horizontal third.
It's like the middle
image.
It's
God,
the middle
that's
third,
shit.
and it's horrible. So we watched it on, which is a little bit annoying because I bought it on that. So yeah, we didn't watch it on now. The thing is, it genuinely is an incredible film, I think. And there's an element of I think there's a weird almost snippiness that's developed around The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of people that maybe haven't watched it in a while that are like, "Oh, people only say it's great because Heath Ledger died," and it's like, no.
No, I mean it's a genuinely
fantastic film, and it's a fucking phenomenal performance from him.
I genuinely again think that in terms of action films, because it is two superhero movies or comic book movies, I suppose would be more accurate. like it's their version of Heat. You know, that's been said quite a lot, and even Nolan has said Heat was a big influence towards the film. But the spectacle of it's fantastic. But the best actual scene in the entire film is the interrogation scene between Bale and Ledger there, and I've seen interviews with Bale after it, and in saying afterwards, him saying, "I know I'm a good actor. There's not an ego thing there. I know I am good." He said, "But when we were doing this scene with Heath, I was there going, holy shit, this is different level. He's bringing something else here." But even just the composition, the lighting, it is. I'm a big fan of Hoyson, the Nolan's new DOP, but I do kind of miss looking at a Wally Pfister film. He's just got a certain eye to him that is there, and the shooting of that. So when you've got Ledger talking to to Commissioner Gordon, and it's basically framed very much. I said to you, it's the apocalypse now. It's Colonel Kurtz.
Yeah.
There, and it's unashamedly doing that. But then you get, as well, at the same time, you've got the whole kind of breakdown of, you've got this rumbling music in the background that's building up that Nolan quite likes using. He uses it to build tension. You have these rumblings in the background that are there, and that's rumbling up, and then it sweeps you through. It's just, every time I watch, like you just said there, Bex, it just gets better.
Yeah.
And I keep expecting it to not at some point.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, in a lesser movie, like the Harvey Dent makeup, the Two-Face makeup, could look silly. Like, it could not work. But you're so in it by that point that it's just horrifying.
Yeah.
Like,
it's got you at that point.
That's it. Like, it can do some silly stuff. And it does not much. It's quite a dark movie. But it can do silly stuff, and you're like... It's chilling in its daftness rather than daft in its daftness.
Yeah, I can still see why this kind of teetered on the edge. Probably should have been a 15, but it was a 12A. But probably should have been a 15.
Was it a 12A?
Yeah. It was a 12. They brought in the A after this.
Fair.
Yeah. And our last one for this week, we watched Lisa Frankenstein, didn't we? Which we won't go into too much about because it's a very new film.
Yeah.
What did you think, Bex?
Do you know what? I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought the physical acting of Cole Sprouse, like for most of it, all of it,
with the exception of a coda at the end.
Yeah, he can't speak.
He doesn't speak at all.
Yeah, I think it's going for some kind of Beetlejuicy crossed with Heathers kind of vibes.
Well, I described it to Ian on Boy Chat as if Death Proof is the movie that the characters in Quentin Tarantino's universe would watch, Lisa Frankenstein is the movie that the characters in Heathers would watch.
Yeah.
It's got that. It very much wants to exist in that world.
In that universe, yeah. And it's got some Death Becomes Her vibes as well. Like, it made me really want to watch Death Becomes Her. Just that kind of fun, but dark.
Yeah.
I
will say, it's not. It's probably not as. It's quite basic in its direction. In terms of, like, it's trying to do interesting stuff, but in a very basic way. So there's not actually that much visually interesting going on.
I don't know though, because you've got to, if you're gonna say that directors are the managers of movies. Like, she's got some really
Oh,
good performances out of
but I'm
the...
saying as a visual thing,
Yeah.
it's not that everything's quite close. That's not what it's going for. It's not trying to be visually kinetic like a lot of films can be nowadays. Its biggest failing is Diablo Cody trying to write quirky, cool dialogue, because it sometimes comes across a little flat. And without the lead performances from Catherine Newton, who is just very
engaging
and fun in it, because she sends herself up quite a lot.
Yeah.
And isn't afraid to play kind of a dick, but you aren't watching it going, well, why is she doing that at any point? You kind of get why she's doing all of these bits. But yeah, Cole Sprouse and the physical comedy that he gets out of it is fucking brilliant.
No, spoiler adjacent, but not spoilerish, because I'm not going to give context. The dick bit is hilarious.
It's fucking great. It's the face he's pulling.
It's the face he's pulling throughout the whole thing, though, because that's all he can only emote with his face, because like he has no voice, so he can't tell you what he's feeling, but you'd fucking know every step of the way what he's feeling, because he's brilliant in it.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, sorry, I need to correct myself from something I was saying earlier on. The Wild Robot's got nothing to do with Cartoon Saloon.
Is it not?
It's just speculation online.
Oh.
But like, I can't actually find a formal confirmed link to it. I saw a tweet with the Cartoon Saloon logo, the DreamWorks logo, and the Wild Robot. Now I can't see anything. No, it's written and directed by the guy who did How to Train Your Dragon, who's also doing the live action How to Train Your Dragon. So it feels like maybe a bit of a one for him before he makes Universal $1 billion doing the live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh my god, where did they get Real Dragons from?
Where do you get Real Dragons from?
Was it from Yugoslavia? Mark, was it from Yugoslavia?
Yes, Rebecca, it was from Yugoslavia. That's why they don't want you to know where it is on a map.
Oh my god, because that's where all the dragons are.
Yes.
Is that where Harry Potter's friend's brother works as well? He trains dragons.
Don't have a clue what you're talking about. But yeah, Lisa Frankenstein, it's probably not that good, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm probably with you there. It's probably not, but yeah, I feel immediately affectionate towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definite recommend if you like fun.
I don't even know if I'd recommend it to people, but I enjoyed it. But it is literally just because of those two central performances, because she's fucking great in it. Like, that girl is either going to be a huge star or is going to have one of those, like, careers where she's in fun, interesting stuff. She's basically going to either be a massive star or she's going to be like Winona Ryder.
Who was a massive star?
Yeah, it's almost like Jennifer Lawrence or a Micah Monroe.
Yeah. There's a whiff of Goldie Hawn about her.
Definitely
God,
a whiff of porn about me.
The cry.
Sorry?
Just watch the film, Ian.
There's a running joke with whenever Cole Sprouse's character cries, something happens. And it's great. Her reactions to it are constantly great.
I'd like to know if any of it was improv, to be fair. Because some of the... Like, when you see... like, improv stuff, and it's like... what's his name out of Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds?
No, the other one. The barman. That's been cancelled, yeah. And, like, there's, like, tracks. There's like, video in there of him just, like, saying...
reeling shit off, yeah.
Yeah. It feels a bit like that at points.
Yeah.
Especially with the tears thing.
If you watched the trailer and you thought, that looks like shit, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not even the movie the trailer makes you out to think it's going to be.
No.
No. Yeah. Well, that's what we watched this week. What have you been watching or up to, Ian?
Okay. Just be talking about what I've been up to. I already did my 20 seconds on the Grand Prix. Bex, this time next week, Formula 1 may be dead to me. So, just a really, really boring race this weekend. And if it's another Red Bull 1-2, I actually don't know the point of watching the rest of the season. So, there we are. So, I watched a few things. I watched Priscilla.
Oh, you watched Priscilla?
Yeah. Elliptical watch over the last couple of days.
Seems like like an elliptical watch kind of film, to be honest.
I'm not entirely sure it was. Sophia Coppola. Yeah, you guys haven't seen.
Haven't
this?
seen it, no, but you can spoiler away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Priscilla Presley's life.
It's one of those. It's like the Titanic. Oh my god! Don't tell me it fucking sank.
There's not too much to it. So it's. Pardon me. So this is based on a book written by Priscilla Presley. It's like fully okayed by her, and I liked it. I liked it. I think it was very, very solid, but more for the first part than the rest of it. Basically, everything leading up to where they get married, it's got this. It kind of builds quite slowly, and it's got this great. What if a too young girl got Elvis's eye? What would that be like? What would her experience then being whisked off to Graceland be like? And it's got this electricity mixed with trepidation kind of energy to it, which is really nicely done. And Callie Spaney has to play the span of a fair few years through the film, and I think she does well with it. And Jacob Elordi early on, good God, yeah, that you see why a girl, and I'm sure many men, would melt for him. I really, really like Jacob Elordi. Between this and Saltburn, two very different roles, he's bloody good. Him and Austin Butler, last few years, man. And obviously they both played Elvis, but real stars coming through, I think.
Yeah.
It then does take a bit of a turn once it becomes she's essentially just completely locked in this gilded cage, and Elvis pays attention to her, basically either when he's horny or when he's feeling bad about how he's been treating her. It doesn't have all that much in the way of how she has her own agency. So the last shot of the film, to spoil the last shot of the film, is her telling Elvis she's leaving him, she's leaving the marriage, and it's that, and then her driving out of Graceland while Dolly Parton's "I Will Always Love You" plays. And I didn't really get the sense of her agency building up to that. When Elvis is away, in the last 20 minutes or so, it's shown that she starts having fighting lessons, and she has people round. But then it cuts to Elvis being in Vegas and him asking her to come to the suite, and then him trying it on and her going, no, get away, because he's obviously just fucked. And then the next morning it's, I'm leaving you. And it just escalates, and it is building that she's unhappy, but it just seems to go from 1 to 100 quite quickly there. I feel like it's just a couple of minutes under 2 hours, and it feels like it did need to be longer. Because I wouldn't necessarily cut any of this stuff up to the marriage. It just feels like it goes a little bit fast forward, and it also it kind of pulls its punches as well. I'll be honest. Like there's a moment where Elvis is he's like listening to like potential like tracks to sing on, and he's not liking any of them, and his boys are in the room. And she's there as well, and he asks her what she thinks, and she says, I just don't think it's got a beat. And he throws a chair at her. And he's like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. And it's just, nothing really comes of that. It's almost like these small well, not small, because it's quite a fucking big thing. Sorry, I shouldn't say small, but these things are building through the film. But she like basically at one point essentially says, why aren't you interested in me? But apart from that, it's her kind of just silently taking it all in, and then at the end, oh, I'm leaving you. I've got my own life, but if I don't leave now, I never will. And it's like, what, do you have your own life? We've had a couple of shots of you having friends. And that's it. It needed more room to breathe in that back end, especially when the end it's like what I think is supposed to be framed as tragic, her leaving with "I Will Always Love You" playing, and I don't know, it just didn't quite hit, but it just feels like because it needed more room to breathe, it feels like there may be a better film on the cutting room floor.
So there might be a 2-hour, 20-minute version of it that's better.
Yeah. I mean, either that, or Priscilla just didn't want Sofia Coppola to be as real as maybe she should have been, and Sofia Coppola respected that. I don't know, but I think it's a really, really solid 4 out of 5. Because, like I say, like the first hour or so is fantastic, and Callie Spaney is very, very good. And Jacob Elordi, I mean, like he becomes, as he obviously did with her life, an increasingly peripheral figure as the film goes on. But he's very good. It just, it doesn't quite come together, and that is a shame, because it really does start out strong. It's a really, really good film, but it really could have been like one of the best of last year territory. But I liked it more than I thought I was going to, actually.
Good.
Sofia Coppola's got a really, really good getting you in the headspace of someone who's young and like falling in love and like it. She's really very, very good at that. But also she is good at the isolation and loneliness. Like there's Lost in Translation vibes to Priscilla as well. But it just doesn't quite all come together in the end. But like I say, 4 out of 5, very good. Nice. Would be intrigued to see what you guys think about it when you get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of films on the old Netflix at the moment. I watched the Stallone starring remake of Get Carter, which I'd not seen before. I've seen the original, but I've not seen this. This film is like a very could only have been made in the year it was made film.
Yeah.
Bizarre rhythms to the scenes. Like the post initial main title sequence is a funeral, which seems to be almost kind of like purposefully surreally depicted, where it's Stallone basically going around people at the funeral asking them how they knew his brother, but it's like a mix of slow-mo and like dissolves and a Moby track playing in the background that is really, really loud when no one's talking. Then as soon as anyone is, it's like they just lowered the volume for a bit while they were talking, but the track continues. And then in between lines, it feels like the volume's going up again. It's really, really odd. But it does have this weird, like, borderline incoherent, but I think maybe purposeful kinetic energy to it, where you'll have a scene end, and then Stallone is just somewhere else, and you don't quite know what's going on. But then he's just talking to someone else about his brother. And there's one bit where it cuts, and then it's Stallone walking with purpose. You've got no idea where. And then his niece is just sat down on a bench by the side of him. And just gets up and walks along with him, and it just is talking at him. And it's just like, right, are they both supposed to be at the same place, or has she been following him? Like, what's happening? And then he just takes her to a cafe and gets her an ice cream. And it's just, what I don't understand what's going on. Mickey Rourke being a great scumbag.
Yep.
Michael Caine being a great British scumbag. And there's also a couple of really, really good practical car chase sequences. But like I say, the film is borderline incoherent. And it maybe doesn't treat women in the best way. Rona Mitra plays a prostitute who, yeah, that film's got some weird vibes about her. But yeah, Get Carter, 2 out of 5, decent car chases. So there you go.
I'd say that's about right. I watched it in the cinema and haven't watched it since, so it's been 24 years since I watched it.
And also, John C. McGinley is in it, basically playing Dr. Cox from Scrubs if he was a scumbag. It's like
really
it's not...
weird cast, isn't it? Alan Cummings in it as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He plays basically what now would be a tech bro. It's it's odd piece of work. Okay, so also watched for the first time since the cinema. Welcome to the Punch.
Welcome to the Punch.
So this is James McAvoy, Mark Strong, and Andrea Riseborough. And Peter Mullen as well. Like, good cast. Aaron Creevy.
Daniel Kaluuya's in it as well, isn't he?
Sorry?
Daniel Kaluuya's in it as well, isn't he?
Daniel Kaluuya, yeah. Yeah, like early, he plays like one of the people on the police force role.
Yeah.
So it's written and directed by the guy who did the Disappearance of Alice Creed, Aaron Creevy, who was kind of like a big up and comer for a bit, and I don't think he's upped or cummed much of late. Sorry, you're right, Don.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave them there because I can't fit.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries. So yeah, this is basically Aaron Creevy kind of almost like trying to do a Heat kind of thing, but in the UK. It's got ambition, this film.
Yeah.
It's visually engaging. You got like Mark Strong as this like robber who's actually a bit of an anti-hero, because like he starts off as like he's the guy who like James McAvoy tried to take down, but he couldn't. And he got away. But now his son has been killed, and there's this big conspiracy, and he comes back to London to try and like investigate what happened to his son. And it feels like it very much wanted to be a franchise. The end of it is basically like the end of a TV episode. In terms of like, okay, well, yeah, tune in next week. but yeah, it's I like it enough. That there's a whole big old conspiracy kind of thing in it, but it's basically every single person in it who you think is going to turn out to be a bad guy turns out to be a bad guy. Like there's not even a fake. You think he's going to be a bad guy, then he's a good guy. It's just like no, that like everyone is a bad guy who you think is going to be a bad guy. And Andrea Riseborough, like basically gets fridged halfway through. And it's just, I'm kind of surprised Andrea Riseborough agreed to be in that part. Like, that's not necessarily a role she needs to take on.
No, but I think at the time, what's she been in?
I mean, I think this is around the time she's in Oblivion. Like, she's
Same year as Oblivion. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the third or fourth lead in a Tom Cruise film. She's doing all right.
Yeah,
like
I mean, she had like Brighton Rock, Never Let Me Go, W.E.
Right, yeah, Andrea Riseborough's had a good career.
Yeah,
like yeah. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why she's in this, but yeah, I mean it's fine. It's a 7 out of 10. Do you know what else is a 7 out of 10?
Go on.
The Zone of Interest.
Go on.
So look, I think it's an interesting bit of work. And yeah, my main problem with it, which I think I kind of alluded to when you guys were talking about it, is that this entire film is preaching to the choir, and I'm almost like criticizing it for the film it's not rather than the film it is, which is the thing that Mark often says. It's something that you shouldn't do, but I'm going to, in a way, because I don't think this film is necessarily saying anything particularly enlightening. It's very starkly made. It's very well directed, and I think the performances are good. But yeah, I finished it with the banality of evil, and these folks just thought they were on the right side of history, and they were doing their thing, and that's something that you could argue is happening now, and yeah, and I thought it was good. I thought it was somewhat effective. I didn't get on with the ending at all. I'll be honest. And I'm sure there are people far smarter than me that can tell me why I'm wrong with that. But yeah, I liked it more than Mark did. But
I think everyone liked it more than me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of American fiction, this, with me, where it's well done, guys. We nominated that film. Yeah, well done. Good job, everyone.
It very much is just it's people watching something and going, yeah, God, yeah, and me going, we knew all this. It's a purposefully bland movie to show you the banality of everything that is going on. So the movie's almost actually glorifying its banality. and then having it look the way it looks, which is just grim, but not even interestingly grim. It just grey. It's a grey day of a movie, and you're wandering around going, "This is a really grey day."
I will just say, the same folks in Hollywood who are celebrating this film, but also at the Independent Spirit Awards last week, there were a bunch of pro-Palestine protests outside of the Indie Spirit Awards, and one filmmaker commented on it in any kind of serious way. If you're gonna like the smell of your own farts, celebrating everybody for liking the zone of interest, but also not having the balls to say anything about any of that at the Indie Spirit Awards, where apparently to block out the protests, they literally parked buses in front of people to try and make sure that they weren't picked up on mic.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like maybe let's not celebrate ourselves for being so good at understanding the human condition and the fallacy of man and the banality of evil, where you're also just silencing that kind of stuff. I don't know. And I'm not saying that position's the right one, but, you know, if it was I don't know. That's a whole, the Israel-Palestine thing is whoever wins, you should shut the fuck up kind of thing to me. Or, like, but, yeah.
I mean, I would say using chemical weapons on children is about the fucking lowest of the fucking low thing that you can do. So, yeah. It's just, there's a whole, and we're not going to get into that, but just, yeah, there's a, I still do not genuinely understand what the fuck people saw in this. I don't get it. I will never get it. And people will try and explain it to me, and I will go, it's not that I don't get what the film was doing, I just don't get the point. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's exactly where I'm at with it. But at the same time, I do think there's stuff in it that's powerful. I think the scene where they're talking about how they can make more efficient chambers by producing a circular one that just keeps on moving, like the kind of like the horror in that's a kind of like almost like solutionizing workshop that a lot of businesses will have. You know, like to like try and get like engineering out your way out of a problem, but it's for that. Like that's, you know, that's some horrible stuff. But also, yeah, you know, yeah, they did have to work like people work on projects. You know, you know, you take yourself out another layer of it. What is that actually trying to say then? And I don't think it's trying to say a great deal other than, you know, it is like almost like a documentary look at how Nazis lived, and they lived like normal people doing a job.
Yeah.
But their job was fucking horrific. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was. Uh-huh. And also, sorry, last thing, and I'm sure Becky's fucking boiling with rage and apologies. The Mika Levy soundtrack. It's a bunch of discordant noises. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there is an element of that to it, isn't there, for sure.
Like, what are you... Yeah, cool, alright. This is making me feel unsettled. Great. Well done.
I mean, the Under the Skin soundtrack was better.
Yes, it was. So, there you go, zone of interest. But yeah, it's relatively effective. It's just like no one who needs to watch it will watch it.
Yep.
Dune Part 2 is directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Lea Seydoux, Stellan Skarsgård, Charlotte Rampling. Oh my word. We just keep on and keep on.
Very briefly, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy as Blue Water Baby. Paul Atreides unites with Chani and the Fremen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family.
It's beautiful, that, Ian.
Thanks. Bex, Dune Part 2.
Well, it's just fucking great, isn't it? I don't really know how to articulate, so I will get round to forming like actual thoughts. But I rewatched Dune. That is the only thing I have watched on my own that I completely forgot about when we were doing what we've been watching. But obviously it ties into this, so it doesn't matter. And I was watching it. I really don't see how you can surpass this.
We'll have to try.
Yeah, but you can continue it, but like how you could do better. And then we went to see Dune Part 2, and it was like, oh, that's how. Very exciting. I was thinking in the car on the way home, like, you know how I like to liken films to food?
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes a film's just a really good meal.
Yeah.
And I said to you when we came out, I was a meaty bitch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a meaty bitch.
This film is like, you know when you see, like, medieval illustrations and stuff like that, and someone's just got like a big leg of some fucking animal and they're just like eating it off the bone.
Yep.
That's this film.
Yep.
Thematically, it's a lot heavier than Dune feels. I think the first part of the story, because this isn't like book 2, it's the end of book 1, isn't it? So, but I think people are a lot more familiar with the bits that are portrayed in the first film. And then this kind of... I don't really remember the David Lynch one at all. I don't know whether it gets into any of this stuff. But yeah, I think it does a really good job of expanding the mythology of it and the story, and I think Pew 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 does really well with the Princess Irulan role.
Yeah.
Because in the book, or the bit of it I've read that I managed to fucking slog my way through, she's just really like a narrator rather than a character. And it includes excerpts from her diaries of the time.
Yeah.
And her like history of Arrakis and history of Paul Atreides and stuff like that. But she's not really, up to where I've read it, a character as such. And obviously they've gone in a bit of a different direction with that, but she is more of a... She's presented as like an outsider looking in, isn't she?
Yes.
But like, it is kind of like you imagine her when you're reading what she's written in the book. Yeah, I was really glad Gurney Halleck hadn't died. I was really glad that Dr. Yue did die. Fuck that guy. And I was equally aroused and terrified of Austin Butler.
Fair.
Oh, and Lady Jessica. She's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Oh, the bit I whispered to you in the cinema, didn't I? When Chani was like, "I guess you've won your war," or whatever she says to her. It's like, yeah, you don't fuck with Rebecca Ferguson. Just absolutely do not. She's drunk the blue water. Got writing on her face. She's Post Malone now.
that bit with her with the voiceover where she's just like, we need to convert them, and we'll start with the weak ones, the ones who are scared of us. It was like, fucking hell. All right. Like, so it's like that happened. I was like, right, okay, that's where we're at with old Becky Fergs, is it?
But it's like...
It's just like...
Go on.
Go on. No, go, right.
I was just going to say, it's like, it's got so much going on. It's about, like, fanaticism. It's about, like, the politics of shit. It's about the fight for Paul Atreides' soul. And it's like, there's just so much going on, which is, it's almost too much. And then he's got all these different names. Is he the Kwisatz Haderach? Is he the Lisan al-Gaib? Muad'Dib? Fucking Paul? He's everything. He's everything to everyone. And he's got really sharp cheekbones.
Yes, he does.
But he's fucking great in this as well. I think it's easy sometimes when someone's as good as Chalamet is to kind of lose the fuck, that was a really good performance, because they just always are.
Yeah.
But like, he's really good in this. Like, tangibly grows up throughout the film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I'll jump in on other people's things because I don't know what else to how else to really.
Yeah, I mean, I'll butt in.
Yeah.
On this one, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
Like, so, thank you.
Don't piss on my fucking cornflakes, Ian, if you didn't like it.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, so, talked about Dune Part 1 last week, and I was just like, it's the most boring 4-star film I think I'll ever see. Why wasn't Dune Part 1 more like Dune Part 2? I don't get it. And the thing is, I think back on Part 1, and I'm like, I'm maybe there are bits that are now gonna play better because of Part 2, and I almost don't think so. I think that with Dune Part 2, Villeneuve's been able to do what he maybe wanted to do with Part 1, but just like wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to. And didn't know.
I think Part 2 was the film that he wanted to make, but he had to make Part 1 to be able to make Part 2.
Well, Part 2 doesn't work without Part 1.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think Part 2 was the one he was more interested in. But he had to have Part 1 there, and he had to make Part 1 good enough that he would get to Part 2.
Okay, so to be clear, Dune Part 2, I'm almost like, give up the ghost for film of the year right now. Like, I thought this was a stunning piece of work. It's got problems, but it's problems that I don't care about necessarily. Like, I think there could have been more of Austin Butler. His character, it must take at least an hour for his character to even show up.
Yeah. I would say probably longer.
Yeah. And when he does, it is like, right, okay, fine. He's really, really good, and he's a threat, and he's obviously better than Dave Bautista, and then they're going to have a fight. But the thing that this film... I think this film is so rich in everything, but the way that he is basically, like, obviously the Bene Gesserit are absolute bastards, the lot of them. Wowee. But the way that they are just, like, setting people up to be, like, the potential next. So, they're setting him, Fade up to potentially be another Paul as well. And the way that his legend is being built. So, like, those guys he fights, a couple of them are drugged, one of them's not.
Yeah.
He was expecting all of them to be drugged. It's almost like to build his legend, like Javier Bardem and Rebecca Ferguson are building Timothée Chalamet's legend, or Paul's, Maya Deeb's legend. Like, all these, like, both of them are pawns who are being pushed and shaped in a direction. And, the tragedy of Paul is that He's basically forced into drinking the old water of life and becoming a fucking madman by the end of it. Because he wants to save these people, and that arc of I am not the Messiah to I am the Messiah, like, basically because, like, people are putting me into this position, but also I've had this blue juice, which is certainly going to help me think I'm the Messiah. It's tragic, and, like, the end of this film, with the heroic Hans Zimmer music blasting off, but also it's so fucking dark. When he's like, take them to paradise, it's like, yeah, what? As in, like, you're just going to send all these Fremen off to death, where they're going to go on their holy war and basically go to Valhalla? Like, Jesus Christ. Chani, heartbroken, off she goes. Like, this is real, like, next level Empire Strikes Back stuff. Yeah. Where it's that middle chapter of that trilogy, and it's like, shit's dark, man. Even though it looks like it's rousing and like, yeah, we're going to go to war. And I know that you dream of this stuff, fight with me, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man. Like, you're on a path to wrong shit. Like, Dune Messiah has the potential to be like one of the darkest blockbusters ever made. But look, we'll talk more. I'll go to Mark. I loved this, and I almost want old Denis to have another crack at Dune Part 1.
I'm probably not quite as high on it as you guys, but I am very high on it, is what I would say there. I was worried going in, not because I didn't think it was going to be good, but because I didn't sleep the night before, did I?
Not at all, no.
At all. No. So I rocked up into it on, like, no sleep for, like, 40 odd hours. And at the moment, I'm running on about 4 hours sleep in about the last 60 hours. So I'm doing all right.
Do you not have a nappy now?
No, I don't have time. But at work. But, so I was a little bit worried because I enjoyed Dune. But it is a bit of a slog.
No, it's not. But
I do think it is a little bit. It almost feels like Dune 2 is the first movie, and that's all like the energetic and everything's fucking going on and everything's going on, and then Dune is like the more moody and, talky one, and there's a little bit too much of that.
The thing is, it has to set up the politics for the rest of it.
I know. I'm just saying, it can be. You can watch it, but it is a very much. It's a big old fucking thing of brown rice. It's quite nice. Brown rice is nice. But,
it's not brown rice. That's so cruel.
But literally, you're there going, I know this brown rice is really nice, but I need you to stop force feeding me it. A little bit with Dune. I might be misremembering it, but I do remember it being quite dry, and a lot of us making that joke a lot unintentionally.
I wholeheartedly disagree with you.
That's fine, but part of that might be because you've read that portion of the book.
Yeah, maybe I'll be able to read the rest of the book now.
Yeah. It can be like your hybrid listening that you're doing, the hybrid watching.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the fucking trick. Maybe I audiobook it.
But, well, maybe you should. Yeah. But this isn't. It's really. It licks along at a pace, but you know you're watching a long movie. It feels chunky. It feels like a meaty boy, but you don't care because all of it is really good.
It's just real good red meat.
It is. You're eating all.
Juicy
you're eating all of the cow, and it's all delicious.
Bit of MSG sprinkled on there.
Yeah, it's all the cast are great, but it's a lot of quite good character. I say all the cast are great. I do have one that I'm a little bit
Go
on it. I don't think Zendaya is that great.
That's because you don't really like Zendaya, though.
Nothing against Zendaya. I just think
you're really angry with her about that outfit that she wore to.
I was angry about that, yeah, but I kind of forgot about that till you mentioned it then. I just
it's a stupid fucking outfit, to be fair.
It's a stupid fucking outfit.
It is, but she's worn loads of really good outfits in the rest
right, then don't succumb to the ridiculousness. I think she's just a bit moody at points. That's the character, and that's fine. But I was a little bit like, fucking hell, you're hard work.
She is hard work.
You're hard work.
Yeah.
It just, I can see why he looked at old Pew and went, do you know what? Maybe. You know what? Maybe. Because, fucking hell, she's not a lecture. Granted, she is part of this madness cult. But kind of seems like it might be a bit of a ride to go on that.
But she's on the reasonable side of it, though, isn't she?
She is.
She's on the,
She is,
her and her friends are like,
Yeah.
it's people who make the difference. It's not a prophecy.
Yeah, but I still think there's, if you're in the Bene Gesserit's there, you're on the reasonable side of it, but all it's going to take is a little fucking nudge, innit?
I'll be honest, I did not expect the hottest bitch in a movie with Zendaya and Florence Pugh to be Lea Seydoux.
I mean, the hottest bitch in it is actually Rebecca Ferguson, but carry on.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She looks rough.
Rebecca Ferguson
starts wearing ceremonial garb, and then she looks mental.
Yeah, but occasionally she shouts at things.
I mean, whenever they do the voice, it's always a good time.
Yeah, you look at it going, fucking, that'd be a great time. I might not survive it, but it'd be a good old afternoon.
I was really anxious coming out of this in case because you are not really a fantasy guy.
No.
And this is very fantasy, and there's the baby talking to her from the womb and the imagery of that, and there's a lot of Lisan al-Gaib, and I was like, I don't really know what Mark's tolerance for this is going to be, and then it came out and you were like, that was really fucking good.
I almost liked the fact that fucking Bardem just wants to be martyred. He wants to be martyred. Yeah. And Paul's like, nah, fuck off. I'm just going to do my own thing. These pricks ain't stopping me.
That was kind of what I was going for. Like, all that is undercut by the fact that all Javier Bardem is doing throughout this entire thing is just every single thing that he says is proof that he is Daib. I can't remember what it's called. What is it? Lisan al-Gaib. Like, every single thing. Like, even when he says he's not, he's just being modest. I almost, like, the thing is, to start with, I almost kind of thought, like, he was taking the piss. And he's just, like, he's doing it to shape a narrative, like Rebecca Ferguson is. But, like, you come to realise he actually believes this stuff.
Oh, he absolutely fucking drank the spicy Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And it's so tragic. Because, like, Ferguson, like, before she drinks that stuff, she's like, well, it was either I agree or I get chucked out in the desert. What choice do I have? And as soon as she drinks it, then she's just fully like, my eyes are open. I have fully... Like, that water of life is not good. That's not good for anyone.
Well, when they were milking that worm, the baby worm, for it in the temple, like, is it worm? Vomit?
Bile.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Like, water of life. Drink that. You are just gonna turn bad. Like, that's all there is to it. But just the whole kind of, like, the pointlessness of religious fundamentalism.
I don't know
and
whether he's actually turned bad, though. Like, or whether he's just playing that role because he knows he needs the Fremen to kill the Harkonnens, and he's just really pissed off to find out that he's part Harkonnen.
I think he's gone wrongin'. Like, it's...
So you think he actually thinks he's the Messiah now?
No, yeah, I think when he's making that speech, where in that place where he's not supposed to talk, and he's talking about, like, seeing people's dreams and stuff, he believes it. He believes it. Like, why is he basically telling them to, alright, we're going to go on a holy war? Like, he's fully gone off the deep end. And it's tragic because the only reason why he's gone to the south, sorry, the only reason why he's gone there is to like protect the people. But then he's had to drink the water. That water's awakened some corruption in him, which it obviously does in the Bene Gesserit as well, because, like, they're all just scheming and, like, because they all have to drink it, don't they?
I think that's
like,
just
to become...
a Fremen thing.
No, because...
No, she said the rituals are different for all the different chapters. The Water of Life, the worms only live on Arrakis. It would only be a thing on Arrakis.
Okay, well, that's interesting, but...
Because it gives her immediate blue eyes and writing on her face. The rest of them haven't got that, have they?
No. It affects different what isn't it?
But I suppose, okay, if you were to, like, term it as, like, just, like, power corrupting generally, then, as opposed to the Water of Life directly doing it, the Water of Life's almost like a fast track to that.
Yeah.
But the fact that all of this zealotry, all of this stuff that these people think are, like, either due to a god or due to the power of the people, is actually because you've got Charlotte Rampling and co. positioning all this stuff into place. But now Rebecca Ferguson is going to be the one who's positioning it all into place. That idea of that, you know, there isn't really free will. Like, Paul Atreides doesn't have free will in any of this. Like, Austin Butler's character doesn't really either.
Nope.
You know, he's being, like, shoved up there and, like, right, you get rid of them and you'll become the Emperor. You know, it's all this, like, power play stuff. It's incredibly nihilistic. I think it's very powerful. And at the same time, you got Javier Bardem almost being a comic character for just how much Kool-Aid he's drunk. But you look at his character and it's fucking tragic as well.
But then you've got Austin Butler.
It's so interesting.
You've got Austin Butler testing his knife by just repeatedly stabbing somebody.
Slashing people's throats.
Yeah, and then just going, yeah, it's not quite right, that.
And, I mean, that entire sequence, that 10-minute short film where it's black and white,
Yeah.
and it rules.
It
it's
filmed me
so
as having so much kind of, like, creative fun with it.
But then he's talking about, like, cinema's all about images and stuff. The images are undeniably powerful. Like, the moment early on where the Harkonnens, like, jump up and they just start flying up that cliff. Oh, let's go.
It's a lovely shot, isn't it?
Guys, we haven't even spoken about worm riding.
Oh, hell yeah. Rules.
That looks fun. Sandy, though.
Yeah, but then you find out that it's basically they just use them like a bus.
Yeah, I love that.
They're just the National Express for
They're
Arrakis.
this terrifying thing, and to the Fremen they're just like transport.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no. Sorry, no. I've been talking loads, but it's just like the images in this film are incredible. But I think thematically, it's got such interesting stuff as well. I almost feel like Villeneuve's doing himself dirty. Talking about, like, saying, like, oh, cinema to me is images. And dude, you're doing some interesting stuff here. Like I say, I can't believe I'm having this reaction to this after Dune Part 1. Because Dune Part 1, I feel like it's setting up this stuff to an extent. But it's more just the plot beats, but it takes quite a lot of time to get to where the real action is, like or content is, which is Part 2. I feel like you could cut 45 minutes out of Part 1 if you wanted to, bolt it onto Part 2, and just have a real fat 4-hour feast. Or like 4.5 hour feast. But then, I probably need to watch Part 1 again now. But
I have a feeling that that if I go back and watch Part 1 again, I think I will get more out of Part 1 now. For sure.
I watched it last week, and I'm thinking, like, does any of this stuff in Part 2 really help juice Part 1? I'm just unsure about it. Like the half hour or so towards the end where it's Paul and his mother crashing in the desert and then finding their way into the Fremen area and then him having the fight with the guy and
Jamis.
yeah. I just I don't know. I don't know whether you needed that to be that long.
I think the thing is, I think it's building like the whole of Dune kind of exists on a knife edge of tension because they all know it's a trap going to Arrakis. Leto knows it's a trap. Paul knows it's a trap. Jessica knows that something's going on with Paul because the Reverend Mother comes to see her and does the test and all this kind of stuff, and it's just it's all like building to the betrayal that is coming, but it's when and how and who's the traitor, and I think that's where the intrigue lies. But it sets up all the bullshit political stuff that's going on within that world that's being built.
Yeah, it may read better. I will just say as well, why didn't Paul get a little treat at the end once he put his hand in the box like fucking Austin Butler did?
I don't think he really wanted to fuck that old lady.
Just
It was Charlotte Rampling who did the what is it one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 I thought he probably would then.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't. She would not get it.
I don't know, just like they did all right by old Fade there, didn't they?
Yeah.
He's bloody good in this, Austin Butler.
Well, they did have ulterior motives. They wanted to secure his genetic material, didn't they?
No, that's true. No, he's good in this, Austin Butler, and Christopher Walken as well.
Yeah.
Interesting casting, isn't it? Like,
Kind of makes sense.
yeah.
But
The thing is, he's a great actor. He just really is a great actor. But his voice is so distinctive that it's just like Christopher Walken. It kind of pulls you out of stuff a little bit.
yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah. But it's interesting the fact that Austin Butler took this character and just went, yeah, go on then. I'll be in a one and done where I am only in it for like half an hour.
And like apparently there was a lot of training that was involved as well
Yeah.
in that, like for the fighting and stuff like that.
But he just seemed like a guy who kind of would enjoy that element of it.
Ah, but he's well up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're going to pay me to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
So, Dune Messiah, I don't know much about it, but, like, Paul as a kid and it's a sandworm or something. Is that right?
What's that?
In like, the next Dune book. Like, Paul as a kid and it's a sandworm. Or,
God, I don't know.
yeah, like, I think it like, the book goes off the reservation a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. I kind of want Paul to die. I kind of want Shani to fuck him up. And I want Javier Bardem to be alright. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
I mean, it's a banger.
Yeah. I think as well, who's written it?
Dune. It was Frank Herbert.
Not the book dingbat.
Villeneuve and John Safetz.
I just think there's a lot of skill being involved to take such a dense text and make an entertaining movie out of it.
I think it was definitely more Denis Villeneuve's writing work than this guy then, because he also wrote Prometheus, The Darkest Hour, and The Mummy. So maybe he went out to get an awful lot of coffees.
Maybe it's it.
Yeah. How many pages did you
We'll
when I was
just say
out?
as
When I was
well.
out, I wrote about 6 pages while we were out. Yeah. Fuck it. This comic's going down well. Could we go get another one?
I will just say the score fucking bangs as well.
Oh, Zimmer's having a
Zimmer's doing
great
some
time,
good
isn't he?
shit.
Zimmer's just using his entire box of tricks and just going back in. I fucking love my life.
Like, he's doing good news stuff, but also has that lady screeching at points as well.
Yeah.
It's like whenever she's popping off, I'm having a good time.
Look, Hans Zimmer is a man, genuinely, who looks like he really fucking enjoys being just Hans Zimmer. Whenever you see a photo of him, he's always got a big old smile on his face. He's like, yeah, I know. Fucking great, this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, just one of the most impressive times you'll have in the cinema.
It's a hell of a thing.
We're off to see it again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking
Try
long.
and squeeze Dune in before you go.
I might actually, yeah.
Don't shake your head silently at the microphone. They can't see you.
I think they could. No, I will try and squeeze it in before we go.
I will just say as well, not to be a dick, but Jordan, you said it was all shot in IMAX. Well, I think you'll find there's a couple of shots where they're looking through visors and things like that actually don't look like they were shot in IMAX because there were black borders at the top and bottom. So, you know.
Definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit.
Oh dear.
Becky?
Fallout.
Fallout?
Yeah.
Wow.
Slapped.
Oh, boom.
I've used my one of the year and it's only February. Oh, it's March.
It's March, babe.
Fuck me, I'm not doing well, am I? With like dates and times and days and things.
No, countries.
We've got Ricky Stenicki coming in a couple of weeks, Bex. You need to be
Yeah.
careful.
Fucking shot your load too early there.
I don't know, the Reverend Mother has decreed it a fallout, so...
I'm not a psycho like them. I'm definitely not a religious maniac.
Yeah.
Well, I'm either calling you Reverend Mother or Benny Gesserit, so, you know, make your choice.
I'll go with Reverend Mother then.
Alright. Questions?
Rick Kidd, what are your favourite Denis Villeneuve films?
Dune Part 2.
Well played, you guys. Prisoners for me.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I do like me some Sicario.
Sicario, yeah. I feel like Sicario... I feel like Arrival's got a little bit lost. I know you weren't a fan of it, Bex, but I really did like it.
Fuck, had Arrival. Fucking Villeneuve, man.
Yep.
Wowee.
2049.
Your 2049's very good. You know, yeah. Yep.
It don't really seem to do shit apart from Arrival.
He's made some bangers,
I think you need to rewatch Arrival, Becky, because I think actually...
Nah, Arrival rules.
Yeah, it's actually really quite good. Craig Dawson, did Mark ever catch up with The Forgiven? I don't recall hearing about it being spoken on the show, and consider how much he loves Warren Everyone, as do I. I'm surprised he hasn't. Plus, it has Christopher Abbott play the ultimate Christopher Abbott character. Craig, I have downloaded it onto my iPad to watch it.
Yeah.
So I will be watching it. I might not watch it on my iPad, I might watch it at home if I get a chance.
Yeah.
But it's there for if I need it. So yeah, I will be watching that. I will watch it before next week. I'm watching a lot of things before next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we got? Villain Black Lanterns. Some actors are bad, but some just pick bad movies. Should you see them announced in a film, which actors might cause you to partially write off a film ahead of seeing it? For me, it's post-Trainspotting Ewan McGregor or Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, Kevin James.
That ginger mess, Ron Howard's daughter.
Bryce
Dallas
Dallas Howard.
Fucking hell.
There's probably a few for me. Judi Dench.
Try to think of who there is that I will just write off if they're in it.
What did I have to watch with Bryce Dallas Howard recently?
Argyle.
That was it. Yeah, do have like hatreds of people.
Yeah, you do quite often. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who do I hate, Becky? There must be people that I hate.
You hate loads of people. I just can't think.
I
Of
can't think of any, no. But there will be people that I will be like, nah, fuck no, not watching that bullshit. Get to fuck.
I can't think of any boy ones currently.
If a film has got Julia Roberts in, it's really got to try and win me over.
What do you
Especially
say is her best film?
Julia Roberts.
Or best performance, maybe.
Pelican Brief's a good film.
Pelican Brief is good.
Yeah.
Sleeping with the Enemy.
Sleeping with the Enemy is a good film, yeah. Fair play. But yeah, point in mind. That was it for questions this week. I think. I'm sure it was. Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Genuinely, what are we covering next week?
Potential downgrade next week, guys. I won't lie.
What is it?
Actually, I'm pretty fucking sure we're odds on here. Imaginary is that horror film?
Oh, is that out?
Yeah, it's the only wide release next week.
Fair. Don't.
I'll watch a horror film about an imaginary friend, which will be better than that John Krasinski film coming out about imaginary friends.
Yep. Yep.
So
That is a
we
bit
got
of a
that.
downgrade, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll also
Just
have
a touch.
Oscars chat, won't we?
Yeah.
Gosh, is
I
that this
mean-
week?
Yeah. It's Sunday, Becky.
So
We baiting?
so are you two doing Oscar baiting?
We baiting?
We're betting, yeah.
I might watch that. I might watch Idiocracy at some point as well.
Great, good.
Yeah, we're baiting. We've both got the day off after.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Right, do me proud.
Are you not baiting?
He's got work.
Fuck that.
I
I'm
can't.
tired.
It's not
Nah,
tired,
mate,
it's like 6 in
We're-
the morning.
It's we're at a real crunchy point on this project we've been on for months. Like I can't. Yeah, I would love to, but I can't.
Yeah. We're going to fly that flag, babe.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh,
Send me over that file as soon as you're done, and I'll get it up.
Yeah.
also, when they were like, oh, blah, 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 ancient name of the planet of Dune, everyone was like,
Yeah.
that was exciting. And we high-fived.
I fucking know that guy!
And again, the voice. It's just like. Ah!
You'd be like, I am going to do what she fucking says because that was erotically terrifying.
I genuinely can't wait to watch it again. I might actually rewatch Dune like a week after I've just rewatched it so that I can like, if I can time it right, we can like do it and then do it on the evening, Dune 2. That'd be well exciting. I'd love that.
And actually, just a really quick question as well. Like, what Florence Pugh was wearing at the start, was that just basically a homage to the Never-Ending Story?
It did feel a little bit that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's the, Star Child from Never-Ending Story? That fucking diamondy thing in, like, the forehead.
It did look like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it did, yeah.
Yeah. It probably would be. Wouldn't be surprised with old Denny.
Absolutely. R.I.P. Wolfgang Peterson. Right. That'll do. Let's get the fuck out of your ears. Thank you very much for your listening attention, folks. Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Jason Reitman. You're never going to make a film as good as Dune Part 2, so you may as well just give up. just do it. Just give up. Just do it. Bye.
Bye.